They me to give you the hand. All right. This video will be about religion and what do we do with it now that we've awakened to the fact that it is not a fact, that it is fictional, that often they are allegory for metaphysical notions. So, there was no historical character of Moses nor of Jesus. There was Muhammad, but Islam is based on the Hebrew scriptures, and then it even brings the character of Jesus into it. It's story. It's makeup. So you just really have to go right to all the patriarchs and whatnot, and we can see how these, so you use reason and rationale, all right? Or snakes turning into staffs. I'm just gonna take for granted that you've gotten that far, and Lord, love a duck, because at least for me, that journey has been a difficult one. Myself, who was into priestly formation training within the church and employed by the Catholic Church, in charge of bringing people into it. I got lots of penance to do for that. Because it's not real. And we want our worldview to be matched up with freaking reality. Now, we also know that we could, through different perspective switches, we shape our reality, which is a big part about magic, ceremonial magic. The scapegoat blood atonement ritual of the Catholic Church, of Christianity in general, are celebrating the sacrifice of a human being to a god, or a god-man unto himself, which this goes beyond reason and rationale, or any sense of morality. So that's not a good worldview to hold. Morals. What are morals? Acting within the worldview that we're all made equal and deserve to, and we should treat others like they deserve to be treated as an equal human being. That's even asking a lot. Just don't harm anybody. You don't have to do it as a negative definition. So, religion. Back to the main juicy meal. What happens to Christianity now that you realize there's no historical Jesus that ever existed? World-shattering event. I know that's a hard, and that's hard. That's a hard one to swallow. Give me the blood, and then you look back on it for what it really was, which you know is kind of always floating in the back of your mind. What a trip this place is. But the phenomena of religion, does it have some good things to offer us? What happens when we just totally get rid of it altogether? Often the government comes in to fulfill that role. A sociologist described religion, or man in his relationship to religion, as being titled homo religioso. Religion means to bind. To tie back is a reread. That's kind of the etymological root of it. We want to be careful what we bind ourselves to. Oh, that has to do with covenantal type stuff. You think God chose just one certain people to make a covenant with? Which does the whole story of Moses is all their stories are taken from others, mixed up. Usually what you do is you put yourself and your people as the main heroic characters. Oh, but all the suffering. All the martyrs. Well, first, yeah, the fact that Christianity prides its martyrs martyrs, the saints. Fucking nonsense propaganda. Correctionist Mac type instigators pushing the worship of a God, Yahweh, Jehovah, over and outside of the gods. Damn it. First thing you do when you go into town, go into their temples, smash their idols, put up one of yourselves. That idol that they built is called Jesus, and they're guilty of idolatry themselves. The first thing did when Jacob wrestled Samael, the guardian angel of Esau, denoting the other nations, the other side, was erect a stone upright like a pillar and then anointed it with oil. A very Indian ritualistic practice of the lingam and the yoni. Sex imagery, which is present within their traditions. It's that Yahweh is the consort who's separated from Shekinah. And Shekinah is the divine feminine, the female, who's in the earth, the waters, and the earth, sleeping like a virgin protected in a cave by a dragon. The word seraphim, who guards the tree of life, your spine, means a fiery serpent. A flying fiery serpent, a seraphim. That angel, I think, is some associated with Archangel Michael, who is the star Aldebaran in the bull of Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, bright and mighty, the bright morning star. Jesus said, "I am the bright morning star." Venus can also be elusive. The stuff that idols are made out of, senses. The idea that God is so transcendent and that it casts this world as dark. The Kabalistic notion is that light, good, God came into this world dark, feminine, which is why they often treat women like fucking shit, but then in secret they use them for sexual magic rituals. And even more fucked up stuff. Aleister Crowley, as an occultist, he understood the concepts and then fucking uses them to harm others. Crowleyan, OTO, Ordo Templis, Orientis. It was like a Golden Dawn wasn't perverted enough for him, so he wanted to OTO. And the hidden thing behind everything is sex, chi, energy, life energy. Red, it dwells in the red root chakra. We have the Rosicrucians and their red roses, symbolizing that red chakra. And it's called Muladhara. So many of the occult practices go back to, I think, Tibet, India. Helena Blavatsky was a very researched and learned person whom I actually have an affinity towards. But then there's some stuff that I don't agree with. She was pretty much, she still believed that there was like a human person named Jesus once upon a time. What are you gonna do? What you gonna do? She believed, and Manly P. Hall believed, that there's a secret teaching, the true religion, I don't know, but that was like syncretic, and that the whole world will get around, and then there's going to be a one world religion. And they wait, then they wait for Maitreya, which is like waiting for the second coming, waiting for the Messiah to come type. Sit back and wait QAnon psyop thing. If you want to conquer your enemy, you're not going to want them prepared, saddled up. You're going to want them to take their little time. Just don't even worry about it. Just sit back and wait. The white hats are in charge. God's in charge. We've got you believing in this here and after, while we're building our kingdom of heaven on earth right here, using these Hebrew scriptures as scripture, as a script to follow, of world rule from one place, namely Israel, Jerusalem, and the words going by the Hebrew script. Christians and Muslims just plain useful pawns. Christianity was successful in turning many white Europeaners into killing each other. The Protestant versus Catholic in Ireland. Well, if they both came to the knowledge that there was no historical Jesus, and so the Pope's claim to any supremacy, or any person's claim to any supremacy, because we know there isn't a guy who just picked one person over somebody else, makes no damn sense. And so even if you're a white Europeaner, feeling of pride in your culture, or preservation of it, is beautiful, and I say healthy. And we have our archetypical heroes that we have life stories that we emulate, that they might be healthy ones. Not ones that look to genocide everybody else, or put you in a constant state of fear, thinking that somebody else is out to get you. So religion is going to be around. After the time I fucking die, and it's almost like it's hard to fight them. You gotta become one of them to fight them, and it puts you into the conversation, that religious interfaith dialogue, ecumenical movements. And if people who would teach this stuff and who understand the PSYOP and the harm that has cost us for so long, and to get into, into academia, to get into, you don't even have to really get into academia. Sometimes you go into the world of academia and never get heard from again. What happens the first thing you make it in the world of academia? You try to get the fuck out of it. And at the academic, theological universities are all motherfucking religious. Then it's hard to get a voice or to teach. You're not going to want Yale is run by a son of a Kabbalist rabbi. Hasidim. Who's in bed with the House of Saud? Bush? I'm sorry. I don't want to go that far, but Biden, when he was running, said that he would treat the Saudis very harshly and definitely not be doing deals with them. Biden just did a multi-billion-dollar weapons deal with Saudis and oil. Oh my God, they just lie both sides, and when they get elected, it's the same song and dance. So let us imagine a fucking religion, a cult. I don't give a fuck what you call it. What it really is, it's the temple of wake the fuck up out of this religious fuckery. And what elements do we have in us that might be benefits from some religiosity making up our worldview? What does it do? It helps us to gather, organize in community, work towards a shared purpose. I mean, just humanitarianism is the temple of wake. I mean, people are leaving the churches in droves too. Is it droves or groves? It's droves. And they're going to Bohemian Grove. You think Alex Jones just got let into Bohemian Grove? That's weird. The whole Alex Jones thing happened right with Trump getting Mar-a-Lago. They really are setting up this whole Trump return as biblical. Adam Green has on Donnie Darko tonight, which would be pretty cool. And Donnie Darko believes that Jesus is coming, but Trump's the Antichrist. So still caught in the sit back and wait. Alright, but at least he's making a Twitter channel, so he's doing something. He doesn't have his hand in the popcorn just emoji. So what I'm doing with the Aquarium.tv is coming up with a way where each person's historical, cultural background, ancestral, can be practiced and shared, and even if it needs to be revised, so that we take these founding myths, these stories, as in their context, seeing them as perhaps not literal, and not to be used as a reason why one group should be trying to wipe out another. if a certain if a certain cultural group has it so that in their religious doctrines and teachings is to wipe out the rest of the world that isn't you. Well, I would like to gather together with those religious leaders at the table and plea for an end to this fucking apocalyptic Armageddon fucking Gog and Magog worldview push. And these supremic, hateful fucking sentiments and actions, teachings. It's not good for anyone involved, ultimately. There is something about ceremony and ritual when people get together and focus on something, shared purpose, shared intention, then things come into manifestation. They need organization, but can it be done without introducing authoritarianism? Can we organize without this an unhealthy hierarchical system? Egalitarian, and there's no better. I see these white Europeaners, few of them, but occasionally who they jump up and to say that no, they're the chosen person. Now we're just my God versus your God. My daddy will beat up your daddy. Fucking arguments. We have to come up with better ways of doing this. Religion ain't going nowhere. It gives you... I mean, who do you see? Jesse Jackson. These guys have a voice in activism. Wearing a priestly collar and shit. I did it for a little bit, but it's there's so much that goes along with that. And all these videos I see, it's got Christ Cut Pastors posts on Twitter. It is so cringe. And the way that this rainbow LGBTQ plus has moved through the church is interesting. The Aquarium is beautiful because it doesn't give a fuck what your sexual preference is. That's your own fucking business. Oh, no one's gonna go and fucking punch you in the face for it. That's not good, so let's not let that happen. Next. Really, this whole identity thing. The more we're so quick and in a need to identify ourselves with something, it shows a real fucking missing of something. Looking outside of ourselves for something when it's in us already. Namely, awesomeness! Wake movement, baby. We gotta come up with a better way of... I think religion still has something to offer to us. Beautiful art and music. Bring all of the gods back. Freaking Minerva, the goddess. The idea of the goddess is something that when it goes missing, humanity goes missing. Strong, warrior, masculine type archetypes that your ancestors put energy into. That energy stored up, just waiting for us to tap into and unfucking leash. Let us go!